Now that we've been able to add tasks, we want to be able to delete them as well. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the ccViewController.m file, and we're going to implement two more UITableView delegate methods. So let's go down and scroll down the UITableView delegate pragma mark. And the first method we're going to implement is TableView can edit row at index path. So let's do subtraction sign TableView, and let's go ahead and look for can edit row at index path. Let's go ahead and implement that method. And we're simply going to say yes, it's okay to be able to edit this row at index path. So all index paths we're going to be able to edit. The next UITableView delegate method that we're going to have to implement is TableView commit editing style. And if it's going to be a delete editing style, specifically UITableView cell editing style delete, we're going to go ahead and delete the row. So let's see how we implement this. Let's go ahead and like before, we're going to do subtraction sign TableView, and we're going to look for the method commit editing style. So commit editing style is there. We can go ahead and autofill it or autocomplete, and we're going to write an if statement here. We're going to say if editing style equals UITableView cell editing style delete. And we're going to add curly braces. We're going to first remove our object from our tasks objects. So we're going to say self.taskObjects, and we're going to say remove object at index, and we're going to say index path dot row. And why are we doing this? Well, we want to remove a specific object from our task objects array. We don't want to just remove the last object. We want to remove the object for the index path row that the user selected and they press the delete button. Next, we want to go ahead and persist this deletion from NSUserDefault. So we're going to say NSMutableArray, and we're going to give it a variable name called new task objects data. And we're going to say this is equal to NSMutableArray, and we're going to allocate and initialize it. So now that we have this array, we're going to run a for loop, and we're going to say for, we're going to use fast enumeration here. We're going to say cc task in self.taskObjects, and we're going to go ahead and say new task objects data, add object, and we know that we have to add plist here. So we're going to use our plist helper method. So we're going to say self task object as property list, and we're going to pass in our task object. So after we run our for loop, we now have an updated new task objects array, and inside of this array we've added plist for all of the remaining tasks. So we first remove it from our array, specifically a task object, and then we iterate over the remaining objects and we add it to this array. So now we can go ahead and persist this array to NSUserDefaults. So we're going to say NSUserDefaults, standard user defaults, set object, and we're going to set our object is going to be new task data. For key, we're going to say task objects key, and then we're going to persist this to NSUserDefaults. So we're going to say NSUserDefaults, standard user defaults, synchronize. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to have a nice animation for as we delete our TableView cell. So we're going to say TableView delete rows at index path, and we're going to say at index path, and then we're going to say with row animation UITableView row animation fade. And this is going to give us a nice animation, and we're going to delete rows at the specific index path, and we know we have to pass an array in here, so we create our array with the literal syntax with the brackets. So this code hopefully is familiar from when we did the deletion in our earlier demos together. And now that we've gone ahead and written the logic to not only remove an object from our table view, but also to persist that information to NSUserDefaults, let's go ahead and see if our deletion works properly. So we can go ahead and run our application. And let's go ahead and delete task 2. So we're going to slide and press the delete key. And then let's go ahead and press stop, and we can rerun this. And we'll see that the task 2 no longer exists in our task list. So the deletion is persisting to NSUser defaults.